I was listening to the story about, it was a story of a family in Washington, and the little boy called the Bigfoot the Cowboy Man. And he had, apparently it had made an effort to steal this kid. And it hit me. My children were in that playpen behind me with nothing but a mosquito net over them. It could have crept up behind me and taken both of my children, and I wouldn't have known.
Father just got like a Mustang or something from Wyoming, okay? He had it out in the corral because he couldn't put it in the barn in the stalls with the other horses because it would kick and made all the other horses nervous. Had a Seminole Indian working the horse trying to break it every day. So they had it out in the corral. This skunk ape snuck up behind this horse and grabbed it on its hind quarters. This particular horse kicks out, jumps over the corral, runs into the pasture, to get away. At this point, the rancher's out there just blasted away with the dirty. Skunk ape runs into the swamp.
I went up there one day after that, or 2 days after that. I went up there and sat in the silence up there, and I'm telling you, man, it was free. It was crazy. There was a crazy vibe up there still. I did what I could to kind of get things under control, but I told her, I said, you need to get off this property. I feel like no matter how strong you are, it's almost like standing in the ocean. You can't stand still without moving your feet. You're going to get knocked over eventually, no matter how strong, whatever. You can't withstand a barrage of weird spiritual energy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Paranormal Odyssey. I'm your host, Wayne, joined as always by my partner in crime, the lovely and talented Miss Tiffany. What's up, ma'am?
Not too much. You've made me hungry for nanner pudding.
We were talking about some good old nanner pudding before we came on. We got the trip coming up to the Smokies, and Tiffany had the brilliant idea. Someone needs to make some nanner pudding.
That's why you keep me around.
That's it. So anyone that is planning on being there, that wants to throw their hat in the ring to volunteer to make some nanner pudding, we would greatly appreciate that.
I mean, I'll donate the bananas and everything you need.
Hey, I'll get the little wafers.
Yeah. I don't know how to make banana pudding. I just know how to eat it. But I know there's bananas and wafers.
So you do know how to eat it? That's what you're saying?
I know how to eat it. I don't know how to make it.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's half the battle right there.
That's the best part.
It is. What? Look at this. Look right here. What, you took it down,
we
dummy.
were getting ready. Well, I clicked it first, damn it.
Oh, you didn't.
Did so.
Chris is on it. Thank you, ma'am. We need that nanner pudding.
Zach, you know how to make banana pudding? How come in 25 years I didn't know you know how to make banana pudding?
Your husband knows how to make banana pudding, and you're talking about wishing you had some banana pudding?
I mean, this is news. This is news.
Oh, my God. How many years y'all been married?
25.
25 years, and the man has never divulged that secret to you.
Man, I'd be as big as a freaking house if he had it. I'm glad he didn't tell me.
That was his game plan. He's like, I want to keep my woman trim. So no nanner pudding.
I'm not trim, but I'm smaller than a house currently. Oh
God, but yeah.
That's right, Chris. It's her birthday. She can have whatever she wants.
There you go. Some birthday nanner pudding.
Hell yes.
We'll slap some candles on there. I don't know if you can make one big enough to fit all those candles, though.
Shut up.
All 32 of them.
Oh, that's sweet.
See?
We'll go with that.
I'm like a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah, you're sour than you're sweet.
Yeah,
we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
What's up, ma'am? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm tired. I didn't sleep good last night. Getting
What
old.
for? You had some more bears wandering through, setting off alarms?
No, but we did just have some kind of animal come through the driveway a second ago. I don't know if it's dogs or we have a fox that frequents the driveway.
A fox.
Yeah, he's really pretty. He's completely red, except his legs are completely black.
But what does he say?
I'm not making that noise. I am not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're on the same page because that could have flew straight over your head, but it didn't.
Oh, that's what Gary said. What does the fox say, though? Well, y'all gonna have to hear that ring-a-ding-ding in your head because I ain't saying it.
Yeah. I think I've only seen a couple foxes, whatever the plural is, in the wilderness, just a couple times in my life. It would be cool to see one regularly because I think they're pretty.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a male or a female, but it's gorgeous. Now, see, when we first moved here, 7 years ago next month, we had a baby fox. We have that rock wall. Y'all all know my rock wall. But we have chipmunks that live in that rock wall. So
I love chipmunks.
We had a little baby fox that was hunting those little baby chipmunks. So
the fox is eating the chipmunks?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I don't like fox anymore.
Oh my gosh, Carrie's thing is squirrels. I know I've told you before, but we made a detour in our neighborhood because I saw a squirrel in the grass up the street. And I was like, Carrie, look, it's a squirrel. And she's like, squirrel, where? Reminded me of a dog. Where's the squirrel? So we drove all the way up to the end there so she could watch the squirrel. And she had an acorn ready. And she's like, Mom, I was going to give him this nut. And I said, honey, he's not paying attention to you.
Wow. She was going to give him the nut.
Yeah.
That's nice of her.
Shut up.
Yeah, we are talking about your 15-year-old daughter, so settle down, guys.
PG it.
There you go. All right, we got the fellers from Penn-Ohio Cryptid waiting patiently backstage through all of our shenanigans and stupidry. I think stupidry should be a word.
Well, we can make it a word. Stupidry.
Yeah. All of our stupidry.
Our stupidisms.
Stupidism is a good word too. Yeah.
It's the delirium setting in.
That's right. So let's pay some bills.
Okay.
Guys, if you are new to the show tonight, thank you so much for checking us out. Do us a solid before you leave. Please hit that subscribe button and help us continue to grow the show. Please.
And we are always looking for encounters, and we would love to hear yours. So please reach out to us, Wayne at paranormalworldproductions.com, or me, Tiffany at paranormalworldproductions.com.
And real quick, before we go on, just to add to that, the episode we did last night, we talked about the changes that are coming up to the show. We are going to need encounters. So if you don't want to come on and share your encounter, if you got encounters from like family members that were passed down, please send those to us. You can send that to Wayne or Tiffany at paranormalworldproductions.com.
I'm very proud of you for saying world and not wold. I say wold.
Wold?
If you say it too fast, it comes out wold.
Are
I'm
you
gonna shut up. You just go ahead. I'm trying to shut up.
Well, paranormalworldproductions.com is our website. Please head over there and check that out. You can, are you okay?
I just got hit with this stupid stick.
paranormalworldproductions.com is our website. Head over there, check it out, please. You can have a look at all the other shows under the studio's umbrella. That Bigfoot podcast is pretty freaking awesome, I have heard. Pick up some merch, sign up for the Bigfoot newsletter, all of that amazing stuff at paranormalworldproductions.com.
And if you have any more questions for tonight's guest, which I know we had some that were left over from the last time they were here a couple weeks ago, please put them in all capital letters. I highlight them throughout the show. We do a rapid fire Q&A, and I will get up as many as I see. So it would help me if you put them in all capital letters, please.
Absolutely. It helps out so much. Manimalresearch.org is the name of the website for the organization that I founded back in 2019. We get out and do investigations. We have one coming up. We are still working out the details for an East Tennessee investigation. The family has sent us some pretty interesting audio and given us permission to come and camp and all of that cool stuff on their property because they want answers. And we are going to do our best to help them. So yeah, if you are in that boat, if you think you have something going on in your property, we would love to be the ones that you trust to come out and check it out. If you would like to be a member of Manimal Research and do stuff like that, and also be involved in just our regular outings, we would love to talk to you. Head over to manimalresearch.org and let us know.
And if you would like to be a member to enjoy all of our stupidisms all the time, it's only $1.99. We also have all of these perks that are listed on YouTube. However, as I say all the time, we go over and beyond the print that you see on your screen because our members are not just numbers. You know, our members are family, and that's how we treat them, and that's how they deserve to be treated. So this right here explains to you what you get for $1.99, and that's all you pay, just $1.99 a month. And this is our Discord. And so as you can see, there's so many things that you can be involved in. This is just a small little thing. We do so many members only lives, the members only Discord. I mean, I'm in there all the time. We just chat and have fun and hang out. So you can't beat it for $1.99 at all.
No, can't beat it with a stick.
Nope.
I noticed that we had put 30-minute lives with Wayne and Tiffany. They're so much longer than 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. They're way longer than 30 minutes.
We watch creepy videos and just chat and hang out, and it really is a good time. It's very fun.
Yeah, 100%. And this summer, we are going to the Smokies, the 24th, 25th, 26th. The Smoky Mountain Conference is the 26th. We're having a dinner after that. If you're a paid member and you're in the area, you can come eat with us and hang out. Be super fun. And
Nanner pudding.
Banana pudding. Yes. We're just all going to sit around and chat and eat and be fat and happy.
Fat and sassy.
Oh, yes. I'm just going to eat bread and be fat and sassy.
Oh, we're stupid.
Oh my God. But yeah, you can, I mean, this is so much fun, and you can have so much more fun for just $1.99 more. But for those who are members, you guys know Mr. Tiffany had his own Paranormal Odyssey t-shirt made last year for the Smokies that has Mr. Tiffany on it. Well, I had to make a new one.
Let's see. There you go.
This one, I mean, it's a blurry photo. How fitting. It's a Bigfoot that's blurry. I didn't even do that on purpose. Anyways, this is his new shirt. So we have amazing guests that are just backstage, like
wishing we would shut up and just get to them.
Just be like, come on, y'all, put the stupid stick down. Let's go.
One last thing before we get to the guys backstage. If you notice at the bottom, the Cash App and Venmo are open. They always are. We have been asking you guys those of you that have helped us in the past or in the future, hopefully, with super stickers to help us this way instead, because YouTube, their fees are they take their fees. If you help us with Cash App and Venmo, there aren't as many fees, and we get those right away instead of having to wait a month. So if you can help us that way, we would appreciate it very, very much. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. I don't want to beg folks.
Yes, and we have great guests that need to come out.
Yes, we do. All right, guys, we was it a week ago? Has it been a week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
We had the guys from Penn-Ohio Cryptid on. Had a really, really good show with them. And we had to end it before they could get into the weird.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know we like the weird.
I love the
Yeah.
weird.
So that's where we're going to pick up on this one. So, guys, please help me welcome the fellers from Penn-Ohio Cryptid. What's up, fellas?
Hey, how you doing? Going?
Hey, thanks for being awesome and listening to us just banter back and forth like we have
Yeah.
absolutely no sense.
No, it's okay. The stupid stick was working.
Yeah, we're gonna use that line.
I think I fell down the stupid tree. I hit every branch during that conversation.
The stupidism.
Yes, the
Stupidisms.
stupidisms.
There you go.
It's Tiffany's. I make up my own language.
Yeah, we may
But-
use that once in a while.
Yeah, do it. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for being patient backstage and agreeing to come back, because we had a really good talk last time, obviously. So we wanted you back. You guys kind of left off last time talking about the weird, like the area that you go to where weird things happen.
Yeah.
If y'all don't mind picking up from there, we would really appreciate it.
Okay. Well, we investigate 3 or 4 different spots regularly, and the one spot we go to, it's just crazy. We just have all this, unexplained stuff just happens. You know, I think we were talking the last time, the first time. Now we've been going here for 8 years, and this happened twice, where this field just lights up, and then it dims down. Then it lights up. Then it dims down, and then this tree just starts shaking, and then we start seeing shadows moving around. And then we've had on our game show cameras, we caught these glowing figures, and then 2 different times we caught unexplained lights. And when we set our cameras out, we always set a camera on a camera. Mainly, the reason is if somebody steals one of our game show cameras, they might not see the other one, and we might have an idea who's stealing our cameras, you know. But it turns out that it's created a mystery, because the one camera that picks up all the crazy stuff, the other camera doesn't pick up anything. It just there's nothing on there. And, you know, not to mention, we've had rocks thrown at us down there. We had a tree ripped down in front of us. Just all kinds of just crazy stuff just happens.
And most recently, we were down there doing an investigation, and every once in a while when we got there, of course, you know, we walk around and we check things out and all that. Didn't notice anything odd or out of place or nothing. Set up for the night, and every once in a while we'd get this whiff of rotten meat, this horrible stench, and then it would fade away again, and it would come back. Well, we had thought we heard something, so we walked away from the vehicles where we had Jeeps parked. We walked away from them and was standing out in this in the entry road, and Craig was probably 15 feet away from me or so, and another guy was behind me by about 3-4 feet, and we got this awful stench of meat again, rotten meat. and I had turned and looked back towards the vehicles and saw this 8 to 10 foot tall black mass go
Damn.
from the Jeeps to the woods in front of it, was a little patch of woods in front of us. And I turned to hit the guy behind me to get his attention. And it's, before I could even hit him, he's like, I seen it. You know, Craig didn't get to see it that night. But
So was it like a shadow?
it was a huge black mass with, like, I think I said this before, but this may sound stupid, but y'all know Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, he has them like spikes of fur out his back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, same thing, just like that, only big, black, left no tracks, nothing. And then we seen it that one time, that moment we seen it for, it went into this little patch of woods. Craig was on the opposite side of them woods. It never came out that side. It just vanished, and the meat smell went away.
And right at that time, all our equipment started shutting down.
Yeah,
when all this started happening, our body cams, the digital recorders, the FLIR started shutting down. Everything started dinging off.
Yeah. So,
Now, is that the only time? I'm glad y'all brought up the smell. Is that the only time that y'all have experienced the smell? Because I've said it many times. As many times as I've been in the woods looking for these things, you have the traditional things that tend to happen. You know, having something thrown at you, the feeling of being watched, eye shine, just all kinds of things. The only thing I have never myself experienced is the smell.
That was the only time. That was the only time I smelled it.
Yeah, that was the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, you said it was like rotten meat. Is that the best way you can describe it?
It was putrid. It was. I've never smelled anything like it. It was
like good roadkill on a hot day, man. It was bad.
That rolled in a dog pen, with dog pee all over it. I mean, it just stunk. It just stunk.
I've heard so many descriptions of people describing it, and it usually comes back to something like that, like a urine, garbage, meat kind of smell. What the hell is that?
And we were there for we were there in the daytime. So if it was a dead animal in the woods, we would have got a whiff of it.
We'd have found
it. And it would stay.
Yeah. And the wind wasn't blowing. There wasn't a lot of wind. So, I mean, it just didn't blow over from somewhere else either. I mean, it wasn't there. And then all this, and it happened when all this started happening when we heard the noise and the equipment shutting down, and Paul and Mike saw the shadow, the big, I didn't get to see it.
As far as the smell, all of that, I mean, that you guys have talked about, so many other people have talked about, it makes me think that maybe they can control it. Like it's a defense mechanism, maybe.
Like a skunk.
Yeah.
That could be. I never thought of that. Yeah. I mean, but that could be.
Could very well be a glandular thing.
Yeah. Aren't there some apes?
That word.
Yeah, that word.
Yeah.
Aren't there some apes that can do that?
I think there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know I've heard it. I don't know how accurate that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be the case. But again, I'm sure we said this on the first time we was on with you, that we don't know. We're researchers. What we come across, we find, we just put it out there, and it's up to you. If you want to believe it, that's fine. If not, it's okay, because we know what we saw, what we experienced. We have pictures, we have sound recordings, but we're not claiming anything.
I'm all for if somebody can debunk what's happened.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I'm open. I'm more than open to listen to other explanations on the stuff we have. But
Yeah.
I've sent our photos of the light silhouettes. I've sent them off to. I knew a guy that worked at JPL in the photo lab. He looked at them. He couldn't figure out what they were. No anomalies or anything wrong with the cameras. There's physical pictures of, what we got. And, like I said, I'm more than happy to entertain anybody's ideas.
Yeah. And real quick, Alan, the Fermunda cheese is no joke.
It was midsummer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
God Almighty.
That
Heat
100
just makes
degree
it worse.
heat. Oh, just hot
Oh, yeah.
garbage.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it
But
was
what-
hot. It was
Yeah.
warm out when it happened. But that could very well could be what's going on with the smell. It's a defense mechanism. They're omitting it somehow or another.
Yeah, that's what Alex is saying here. Yes, many primates have scent glands like lemurs.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering then if it's like a juvenile, if they're, when I love snakes, love them.
You're fucking crazy.
But when they're babies, they spit out so much more venom than the adults because they can't control it.
Yeah.
So if you maybe look at it in that light, maybe it's a juvenile who maybe felt threatened, whereas an adult wouldn't have felt threatened by y'all.
It could
Or
be. It very well could be.
maybe a mama thought maybe you were closer than you should be.
Who loves snakes?
I do.
Let's devote some time to this. What is wrong with you that you enjoy having those demons from hell around you? I mean, oh my God, I hate a snake.
I love them. And you know what? I hope we see a black one in Tennessee.
You can shut up.
I'll pick it up. And I'll just carry it over there and be like, look, Wayne, I'm going to get you.
And you will get something thrown at you too.
I only almost got bit once last year.
Almost got bit once. Yeah. I ain't getting close enough. Me and my buddy Kevin, we went to check out the place that we had the Squatch out last year. And the folks that own the property let us camp there for free to, just check the place out. And we're walking around hiking and we're on our way back to the camp. We're tired. It's hot. And Kevin, he's in front of me. He walks. And as I'm walking behind him, I step. And as I step, I see something move under me. It was a damn snake. I jumped about 7 feet in the air, screamed like a little girl, and yelled, snake, snake, snake. Kevin stepped over it, didn't even see it. And then I stepped over it and jumped, and it just slithered on. He's like, where? Like, that almost ruined my whole trip.
Well, see, I don't mess with the poisonous ones. Like, give me a python.
They're all stupid.
Those big ones that you can hold around your neck. Like, I love that. And if you hold the business end down when you're picking it up, as long as you hold it close enough to the head to where you can control it, it ain't going to bite you.
Yeah, Alan says all snakes are poisonous until autopsy proves otherwise. There you go. That's why I like you, Alan. All right, we got really, really off topic there.
That's your fault. You
Sorry
said,
about
let's
that.
just park here.
That was my fault. All right, guys, let's talk about orbs. Have y'all witnessed that at all?
We've actually captured just last season.
Yeah,
last season we captured 2 orbs just busting through the woods we got them on trail cam.
So you have actual footage of orbs?
Well, we got
photos.
On the photos, and the other camera didn't catch it at all, and they were facing each other. So if somebody was coming through the woods, or somebody had artificial light coming through the woods, the other camera would have picked it up.
They weren't that far away from the cameras.
Yeah.
They weren't more than 20 feet, 30 feet away from the cameras, so you could see very well that, you know, it was not artificial light.
Yeah. And the other camera didn't catch it either, you know, so
they didn't like illuminate the area. They were themselves illuminated. But they didn't like broadcast any light to light the area up or nothing. So
the same as those two glowing figures too, and those were only maybe about 100 yards apart from each other that we caught these lights. And again, this is all in the general vicinity of where all this strange stuff is happening.
You saw over down there. You saw with your eyes.
We saw one other one. We didn't get it on film, but where we've never had. This is the only thing that ever happened there like this. It's a spot where we just hunt Bigfoot. But we were on the side of a mountain, and we were call blasting out through this valley. And I'm looking this way, and Paul's looking off on this way, and it was like a low light, dim, low light blue in the top of the tree, like almost up into the top of the tree, and then it just slowly moved away and it just disappeared. And I only seen it for maybe 4 seconds, and it was then it was gone. And that was just one time up there. Now, we did have something else strange that happened up there. I don't know if we talked about that last time or not.
Well, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Well, it was on the other side of this valley. It's a huge area where we hunt up there, and it's way back in. There's nobody back there when we're in there. Yeah. I'm talking. You were talking earlier about you were doing those recordings of strange sounds, and you talked about the kids. The kids giggling.
Yes.
Well, we're way back. I mean, there's nobody
We're in the middle of the woods, and it was just me and Paul at this time. Our other buddy didn't. He hadn't started going with us. It was just me and Paul, and it's so dark you can't even see your hand in front of your face. Okay. Now during the day, we had been walking in this one patch of woods. We were looking for another spot to put our cameras up. Now, I'll be 70 years old in September. I've been in the woods my whole life as a kid, hunting, fishing, and I've never seen this. In this one patch of woods, all through this woods, there was sticks, maybe about 4 or 5 foot high, shoved down in the ground. There must have been 300 or 400 of these sticks everywhere through this patch of woods. We're like, what in the world is going on here? So we when we go up here now, we stay until do a night investigation. Well, we're sitting, because we're like you guys, you're not going to sneak up on no Bigfoots, so you just sit back and just you make yourself present. They know you're there, and just sit back and wait for something to happen. Hopefully it does. Sometimes it doesn't, but this time we're sitting there. Now, Paul's got a little bit younger ears than me, and we have these game ears on, and he's going, I'm hearing kids giggling.
Oh,
I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
Dude, it's so scary.
There shouldn't be no kids in the woods where we're at.
Hell no.
This is my bread and butter. I am home now. Yes.
Now, Paul's got a 44 or 45, and I got a 357. We take all the time. We got them with us. I got my gun out now. I'm like, what is coming at me? I can't see. It's dark. It's only me and Paul, and there ain't nobody coming. I mean, 911 ain't coming.
Right.
These kids are giggling.
God.
I'm telling you what. That was probably.
What time was it? What time was it, guys?
Probably around 11:30. About
PM.
11:30 at night.
Yeah, PM.
PM.
Yeah.
Pitch black woods with little
Pitch
kids
black. No,
laughing.
way deep in the woods. There ain't nobody around. Nobody.
Oh, fuck that.
That's what I said.
I'm telling you, we were both hugging the truck. He was on the one side, I'm on the other side. And I'm like, oh my goodness, where's these kids coming from?
What's that saying? The most beautiful sound in the world is a child's laughter.
Yeah.
Unless it's 3:00 in the morning and you don't have kids.
Right. Exactly.
Now, after thinking about it, though, what I think could have been going on, I don't know for sure, but I think could have been going on. Have you ever seen those pictures of the big trees piled drived into the ground and the root balls up?
Yes.
The big Bigfoots do that, and all those sticks shoved in the ground. We think that could have been a nursery for little Bigfoot, and they could have been in there shoving all the. Who else would have done that? I don't know if anybody would shove 300-400 sticks in the ground in the middle of nowhere.
Spoiler alert! I think that's going to be one of the questions. Coming up.
Yeah, I mean that's the only logical thing I could think of, that we just stumbled upon a nursery area, and they were, people say they can imitate sounds and stuff. And they were imitating.
Sure sounded like
kids giggling. Man, it was scary. I'm telling you, it was scary.
Well, it's like the babies crying in the woods.
Yeah.
We've heard that.
Yep.
We've never heard that. We've heard the kids giggling, but we never heard
I've never heard that, but I've talked to people that have witnessed it. Yeah, and that's just terrifying.
I know. It was.
Because, let's think about this for a second. Any normal, rational, good person, if you hear a child in distress, you want to help. You want to rescue them. You want to make sure that they're safe. So if there's something out there that's making that sound, playing off of you being a good person, that's sinister. That's evil. It's terrifying.
Yeah, they're trying to lure you in or something.
Yeah,
for whatever the reason is.
Playing off of you being a good person so that they can take advantage of you for whatever reason. I mean, that's
we didn't go in looking for him.
Missing 411.
Yeah, no, it was. I tell you what, my heart was pounding.
Yeah, that was creepy. Very creepy that night.
So do you guys, are y'all in the woo camp or are you flesh and blood? What do y'all think about Bigfoot?
I'm 100% in the I don't know camp.
As we all are.
That's where I'm at. I don't know. I honestly think there's more to it going on than just a monkey in the woods or a primitive human. We'd have found one by now. Somewhere, somehow, some way, we'd have had one captured. We'd have had one on a slab.
Yeah,
it was just a simple ape. Yes.
And who says we haven't?
I don't know.
That's true too.
The government might have them. We don't know. But
there is reports.
But I think I don't know. I'm 100%. When we started out, I thought we were just looking for a Bigfoot.
A monkey, yeah.
A monkey. But all this stuff that's happened, I know it happened because I was there and Paul was there. We witnessed this. I'm 100% convinced. I don't know. I have no clue.
I'm not so sure either. I don't know if there's other factors coming into play, and we just are stumbling upon two different phenomenons, in a Bigfoot area. So I'm like with Craig. I'm not 100% sure that it's all just a flesh and blood, simple, advanced primate. If it's a very advanced primate. So
he's a flesh and blood with a dash of special.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Something. There's just too much weird stuff that goes on when you start, when you get in the wood knocks going, stuff like that, and it just and then you get giggling kids,
Yeah.
you know, or you get a shadow that just pretty much like vanishes into a small section of wood line that never comes out.
Right.
You know,
And that's where the cloaking comes in. And what is your opinion on the tree knocks? Do they come from sticks or do they come from their mouth? The
I don't know.
sound.
I really don't know.
that's a good question.
I never saw one knocking, so I don't know, you know. But
Well,
we've heard several knocks.
That could very well be vocal.
well,
could-
because it's going around that, you know, in the Bigfoot community, when people are having this conversation, that this is not, you know, there are not sticks that are readily available all the time to bang on trees for
Right.
them. So, and I have watched videos of gorillas in the zoo, and they'll pound on their chest, but at the same time, they're opening their mouth, and that same sound will come out.
Yeah.
That very well could be. That's
Yeah, they're very large chested, like they are, big barrel chest. Yeah, I never thought about it.
I never did either, but that's
That's a good one. That's a
It
good
could
one,
be-
I think,
it could
but
be.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you think in the crevices of the forest and the mountains, and like you said, as large as they are and as barrel chested as they are, it's gonna carry.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Now, I do think they're physical though, because I mean we've found footprints. We've heard we 2 times we've had trees ripped down in front, you know, by us. You know, we seen the other one was at night in the same
Mhm.
area where the kids were giggling. We had a tree ripped down. We were on the side of the other side of the mountain, and so I mean I know they're physical because they're doing this. They're laying down footprints. They're making noise. They're ripping stuff down. They're throwing rocks. You know, so they definitely are physical, but I think they got a little more juice than just being
Right.
a Bigfoot. I just do.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that. Well, and the fact that you're only experiencing that stuff in that one specific area
Right.
as opposed to any, it's just mind-boggling because we hear that correlation with them with the orbs all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the orb. Yep.
All the time.
And I'll tell you another thing that happened when we were in this spot too. The first time the field lit up and we seen shadow. The first time we saw shadows, they weren't as big as what Paul and Mike saw. They were maybe 4 or 5 foot tall, you know, and they were just moving all around real slow. But they were coming from nowhere. They wasn't coming from the wind because they were coming this way. They were going this way. Paul started just snapping pictures, and we caught one Paul caught it on the camera, and we put it on. It's on our Facebook page. In this shadow, you can see a face in this shadow. But at the same, right before we started seeing these shadows moving around, you ever see a documentary when they're like harvesting like pecans and they got this big machine grabs this tree and just starts shaking the daylights out of this tree.
Mhm.
One tree where we were at started shaking like crazy. We couldn't see anything. I mean, it was like 25 yards from us. I mean, it was a pretty good sized tree, and it just started shaking like crazy. We thought it was rain coming through, so we were going to gather up all our equipment and stuff. We thought it was going to start pouring. And as the field's lighting up and the shadows are moving around, this tree shaking, we have no explanation. So as far as cloaking or something goes, it could have been cloaking. It could have been a Bigfoot grabbing that tree and shaking it. You know, there's physical things that are happening that I think I 100% believe they're physically there, but I think they got a little bit more juice to them than just regular monkey running around the woods.
It's that dash is special.
They got something
special.
They got some special juice going on in there.
What's the biggest footprint you guys have ever found?
About 16 inches, almost 16 inches. That was the biggest one.
And
That's a Bigfoot.
impressions
Yeah.
that were, over 18 inches. They weren't castable. With a what was it, about a 68-inch stride.
Yeah. And that was in the same area where we saw all this other stuff going on.
That was in the same area as the shadow and stuff. So
yeah.
But we got that left the impressions. Craig actually got the eye shine about 8.5 feet up. So he could hear it crash through the woods. And we came back the next day into the same area the next day to go, see if we could find any evidence. And we could see exactly where it went through the brush and everything else. And the impressions were a good 18 inches.
Now, were they in a straight line? Some of them are like perfectly
tightrope.
Yeah. The one set of prints we cast on it, we have them on our page. You can see that they walk right into a tightrope, like they're walking on a tightrope. And the next step is in the river. And this is like the end of April that we found these. And there was, just the weekend before, there was a half a foot of snow on the ground. It was still cold here, in Western PA. April you can get a foot of snow, and but they that's exactly how they walk. They walk just like they're on a tightrope. They don't walk like us.
Yeah, that I've always been amazed by that, and that's how you can tell.
Yeah.
And hoaxers are hoaxers. They know what to do and everything, but that's always one of the things I look at is if they're in a straight line or not. What do y'all have an opinion about the whole Bigfoot as an alien thing?
Like I said, me personally, I'm in the I don't know camp. I don't know.
Sometimes I think it's connected. I'm not like, dead set, but it sure is strange that when there's a flap of Bigfoot sightings, there's a flap of UFO sightings at the same time.
Or orbs.
Yeah.
Orbs.
Yeah.
Bigfoot sightings, if you put them on a map and then you overlay UFO sightings and you overlay cave systems, everything lines up across the entire U.S. It's just there's something there. I think I don't know what yet, but something.
Yeah, the whole cave systems and the Bigfoot reports where they overlay it. I don't know how accurate that is. I've heard some people say it's BS, but
I get it myself.
If it's accurate, that's intriguing. That's interesting as hell. What do you guys think about caves? Do they use them?
Paul, he's convinced that they do.
I'm 100%. Yes. There's no reason why an animal that size, you could walk past the cave entrance and never know it if there's a rock sitting there. Okay. An animal of that size could move a rock a lot more than what we could. Roll it up out of the way, step in, roll it back down. They're in their own world. And they say only like 30% of the cave systems of the United States have even ever been explored or mapped. So, and the U.S. supposedly has some of the largest cave systems there is.
I'm with you. I have always thought that they utilize caves.
Heck yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
These things have gone. Where do they go? Do we think they just sleep outside in the rain and in the snow? They have to have cover. People talk about these little nests and everything that are found. I'm sorry, but these little nests can't hold a clan of Bigfoot. If there are clans of Bigfoot, we don't know. Why wouldn't they use caves? And I was talking to a fairly reputable a pretty reputable, a fairly well-known Bigfoot researcher a while back when I first got into it. I'm not going to mention names, but he firmly believed that they do not use caves. And his thinking was, why would they corner themselves? Why would they allow themselves to be into an area where they could be cornered? Well, I mean, after thinking, my response to that would be, what makes you think they're cornering themselves?
Right.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
There's entrances and exit strategies and exit routes, and we don't
That's
know.
their home. They know where all the hide spots are.
Yeah,
They know the exit. They know how to get out. They know where the entrances are, the exits.
I mean,
that's their home.
during severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, things like that, do you really think they're outside? They're just hunkering down somewhere under a tree, waiting it out? No, they have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, and compare them to, and we have to because we don't have one. Compare them to the primates at the zoo. They hate rain. You watch a video of them in the rain in the zoo enclosures. They are running for their little home to get out of the rain.
Yeah.
Oh, I think cave systems. I think cave systems and Bigfoot are hand in hand.
I think it makes so much sense. Much sense. That could answer a lot of questions, in my opinion.
And like Paul said, these things are big enough to pile drive those big trees down in the ground. How big of a rock could they pick up and move? You'd walk right by it, never know the entrance there.
Yeah.
The big rocks there. Yep, come home, pick it up, move it, grab it, pull it back, and walk back into their. You'll never know they were there.
Who's to say they aren't moving a rock back inside the cave that opens up to a whole nother?
We don't know.
There's so much that we don't know.
Right.
Yep.
What I do know though is there's more to it. I'm convinced, and I can't say it enough. I'm 100% convinced there's more to it than what we think.
I really
absolutely
was stuck on Denison Man, early human. For the longest time, I was stuck on that, and then we started having all this weird stuff happening, and it just doesn't make sense to. You can't limit it to just a primitive man because all the weirdness. So.
Yeah, and there's the reports of people saying they look like Neanderthals, or however you pronounce it.
Neanderthal.
I mean, those are cavemen, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Neanderthal. You had the Denison. Then you had the Java man. They were all primitive early shoots of human.
What do you guys think about the whole Gigantopithecus argument?
No, I don't buy it.
I don't know.
I bought it for a long time, and I still don't know what I think.
The size is right, but I don't know.
I just think if it was a simple primate like Gigantopithecus, we'd have got one by now, easily.
Yeah,
easily would have been found. Just like the great apes, they found it, in 1903 or whatever when they discovered it. I know they're still discovering new primates constantly, but
I definitely get your point. I do. We should have gotten one by now.
By now, with everything that's going on, there's a lot of us out there.
It makes you think that they have some way of staying hidden that we just don't know about. We can't comprehend.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't. We can't.
Yeah. We're bipedal. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. We got a few questions for you guys. Let's go ahead and get to those if y'all are ready.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're ready.
All right. First off, Goony Goo Goo, thank you so much for the super sticker. You are awesome, buddy. We appreciate it. Troy, Two Fingers, have you found any trees uprooted and planted roots up. We talked about that earlier.
No, it wasn't a tree, but when the first time we had the tree ripped down in front of us, there was a marsh, and there was like these bunch of cattails and a brush, and then on the other side of the marsh, the tree started whipping back and forth, and then it snapped, and that's when we heard this thing running. Well, we had to work our way around the marsh to get through the briars, and we found the tree. But in the process of looking for that tree, we found a big dead piece of deadfall. I think it could have been Bigfoot related. It was turned upside down and it was slammed into the ground, and it was maybe 15 to 18 feet tall. I mean, it was pretty big, and it was shoved.
It wasn't like a whole tree. It was just like a deadfall.
And there was no tree around there to where it fell from another tree and landed, because we tried to debunk it, but we never found an uprooted tree, but we found that, and we found all those little sticks in the ground. Yeah, that's as far as the tree.
We do come across a lot of deadfall stuck in the ground. It doesn't belong. It just doesn't belong there. It's not that fell off a tree.
And what else is going to do that?
We don't know.
The strength.
There
and
ain't
the
no bear out
thumbs.
there doing it. You gotta have thumbs.
And it's in the middle of somewhere where, it was in the middle of a patch of briars. Who's going to walk in there to discover that?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't know who wants to play in briar patch. And that's where it was at. It was in amongst all these. We were trying to find a tree.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we were in the briar patch. And that's where this thing was at. Yep. So.
Okay.
It could have been.
All right.
We don't know.
All right. Moving on, buddy Alex. Did y'all hear that big black shadow taking any steps?
No.
Didn't hear nothing.
Didn't hear any sound or nothing. It moved across where the area we were parked in, the open area there, and probably 30 feet.
Yeah.
30 foot distance it covered. Just really quick. Long enough to see it, and like I said, I turned to smack my buddy, and before I even got there, he said, I see it. So, it left no footprints. We came back the next day to the same place to check in. Nothing.
You couldn't see nothing.
So
didn't hear nothing, but all that other stuff would happen right on top of it.
Yeah. Not like I said, I'm not sure is that a Bigfoot or
we don't know. It was spooky though.
All right, moving on. The next one I think is more of a statement. That is dead meat, feces, rotting plants, funk breath, all caught in the hair. Just like people, some are cleaner than others.
That might be. That makes it could be.
Could be.
Makes sense.
It was rough, man. It was a rough smell.
Like I said, I'm going to be 70 years old, and I've been in the woods my whole life, and I never smelled anything that stunk like that.
Wow.
It stunk.
All right, Chris Blaylock, how big was the orbs?
The ones that turned into silhouettes, to judge them on a camera, the photos, I would venture a guess of probably a foot round, like basketball. And the other one's probably about the same size, basketball size. Now, the blue orb that Craig saw, I couldn't tell you. I didn't get.
If I had to guess, I would say similar to that, maybe a soccer ball size, and it was just, and it like I said, I only seen it for about 4 seconds, and it was like up in the tree canopy in the top, and it was like a low dim like blue, not real bright, just like a dim, but it was a dark bluish grayish color, and it just for about 4, and then it just disappeared.
All right. Well, a continuation of the orbs. What time of year was it when you seen the orbs? Did you rule out natural occurrences?
Well, let's see.
It was in the fall because we were going in to get our cameras out.
Yeah,
Both
times were in the fall.
It was in the fall, and the other time, all 3 times was fall time in the fall.
Okay.
I don't know what natural occurrence you could. I mean, unless you're talking like swamp gas or something like that, but there's no swamp near where the orb.
And it couldn't have been another. It couldn't have been another form of artificial light because the other camera would have caught. So if somebody was coming through the woods with a light,
cameras have night vision.
They have night vision on them. You know, and the camera on the camera, both of the cameras should catch the same thing. And the other cameras that were on these, when we caught these glowing figures and stuff, they didn't catch nothing. There was nothing. You know, and matter of fact, the one with the 2 glowing figures, it only had a picture of Paul turning the camera on and Paul turning the camera off. And the batteries all worked. We checked the batteries. We checked everything. And they were all everything was working order. So we just have no explanation for it. We don't know why the other camera didn't catch it. So we ruled out any kind of other kind of light source.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't car lights or anything like that.
Yeah, it's deep in the woods. There was no kind of car lights or anything that could have hit it. It was, you know, it was just we just don't know.
Okay. All right. Moving on, Alan. Are you guys getting dermal ridges in any of your casts?
We believe we did in the one. The one where it was one of the ones you can see him on that we cast in where they was walking in a tightrope. And another thing about those prints that you can see we ran out of casting material, and there was some that we couldn't print. The ones in a line, we got those because we thought of the importance of showing how they walk. You know, there was 3 in a row, but me and Paul are both pretty good sized guys. I'm 265 and Paul's at that time
270.
He was just a little bit bigger than I was.
300.
Yeah, so. and we're trying to we're standing next to these footprints that they're in the ground. They're impressed into this mud. We're trying all of our might, pushing down, trying to lay a print down as far as that. We couldn't even come close. We couldn't even come close to. So
one print does though appear to have dermal ridges along the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question, Troy. How close to Harrisburg is your location?
Opposite side of the state.
We're on the other side. We're almost in. We're 5 minutes from Ohio.
Border of Ohio and PA.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Guys, tell everybody where they can find you, your just any social media, anything you want to promote.
We're only on we have a Facebook page, and it's Penn-Ohio Cryptid Research. If you type that in, you know, our page will come up. You know, you'll see me and Paul's on the pictures, and
we have one video on YouTube, but there's a link on our Facebook page. It'll take you to the video. We have a good 20-minute video, 18 minutes, something like that. We captured some of the best whistles we feel, and a couple other Bigfoot groups feel, ever caught on recording. So
18 of them. We got 18 recorded whistles.
Oh shit!
Back and forth with Greg.
And it started on the left, and the first one was over here on the left of us, and at the end, it was over here on the right, and you could hear it walking through the woods, you know, and it was only it was really loud.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
was late at night. You know, there was,
12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah, and Paul found an app, and we played those whistles into the app, and it tells you if there's any known. It come back what? No, not
Unknown, not human.
unknown, not human, unknown species,
No
not.
bird. It's
Yeah.
not a bird. It's not this. It's not that.
This was down
Yeah.
in Forbes National Forest, down almost in West Virginia.
Yeah.
We were doing
Not
an
too far from Chestnut Ridge and stuff. So
Yeah,
Wow.
and
Yeah,
that's where
very
we
cool.
found a big print down there too. We had a big print. It was a nice print.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'd be happy to share all of your links and everything when we upload it to podcast. Guys, thank you so much for
You're
taking the time to hang out with us. It was awesome. We really appreciate it.
yeah, no, it's great.
We'll be headed out in the field here pretty quick.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
too.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
They're so sweet.
Yeah, good guys.
Yeah.
What's happening with our? There we go.
You just got to move us.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. That was a fun show.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of show, if you or anyone you know has had an encounter and would like to be on April 1st, we would love to have you because we have an opening on Tuesday.
Do we?
We do.
We need to get on the stick.
We do. I was looking at the calendar and I was like, who's next? And I was like, oh, Daniel Hamilton is on the 5th. And I'm like, well,
Oh,
darn it.
shit.
We have a Tuesday before Daniel comes on. So it's
Anybody that wants to come on Tuesday night, hang out with us,
7
holla
p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central.
at your boy.
Yep.
We will be happy to get you on. All right, you got anything else, ma'am?
Nope, not that I can think of, just that.
All right,
Chris
well,
says we
whatever.
should have. Chris said we should have a Bigfoot roundtable.
Okay. Who would we have? Chris, you recommended it, so you have to be there. I don't know. We'll figure
figure it out.
something out. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for being awesome as always. You are amazing, and we love you.
Yes.
Until we talk to you again, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.